right now on News Channel 8 at 6.
Heavy rains hammer the Bay Area. Friday floods leaving behind a big mess. Homes damaged, cars stranded, and some roads still underwater. Good evening, I'm Keith Kate.
I'm Gail Searens. Thank you for joining us on this very, very wet Friday evening. Heavy rains leave part of the Bay Area underwater. Too much rain, too fast, inundating neighborhoods. Several parts of Tampa and Temple Terrace were hit especially hard. The water was pretty deep in some of those areas. Check out this Eagle 8 video. It shows people literally wading through high, deep water. Thigh deep water, that is. And this is at the Farmers Market near Hillsborough Avenue and 30th Street in Tampa. We have 8 on your side team coverage of these Friday floods. We have crews out in some of the hardest hit areas. But our Storm Team 8 Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervey is going to lead us off with what we can expect. Steve?
Well, Gail, the possibility of more light to moderate rain certainly for the short term, but even throughout the day on Saturday, there's a pretty decent chance of on and off showers until we can work this front all the way through. In terms of the rainfall here today, 2.94 inches. That's a new record for Tampa International Airport. I'm working on a new record here. It could be 3 inches, 2.28. The old record. You can see the showers and thunderstorms mostly down across southern areas. That concentration of lightning the heaviest at the moment. Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, things are quieting. Indian Rocks Beach to Palm Harbor to downtown Tampa, Brandon, Fishhawk, and out to MacDill Air Force Base. But this area right here continues to push. It's fairly strong right now toward Zolfo Springs and Wauchula, and also down to Northport, getting a good concentration and heavy rains there. Arcadia too, folks eventually in Sebring, and also Avon Park and Lake Placid may see some of these showers. Right now it's pretty quiet there at the moment, but we could see more activity there. And again, farther down to the south, this goes all the way into Charlotte County. That's essentially the line, the same line that came through here and is now kind of taking more of a north-south configuration as it pushes off to the east. Now, you could have chosen different ways to get around today, a boat or a car. Many folks, unfortunately, in some places had to make that choice. Easier to get around by boat instead of car. Earlier today, Eagle 8 found some people using a canoe on a flooded road. This is around 109th Avenue and 27th Street in Tampa earlier today. It's just an exemplary of all the many showers and thunderstorms and the heavy rain that added up to 6 to 7 inches in some of these spots in a short amount of time. Naturally, we're going to get some flooding, but it was tough to see today.
7 inches. We're talking about a lot of rain, and as you said, it came down very fast. We'll be checking back with you here shortly, Steve.
Okay.
And when bad weather hits, you think about your safety, your family's safety, and the possible damage from this storm. But what about your car? Well, this was the scene in Temple Terrace at an apartment complex today when part of the ground there gave way. News Channel 8's Lauren Meg joins us now live from the scene with the latest on this story. And you expect all kinds of things with bad weather, but you don't expect to come out and see your car falling in a hole.
You certainly do not, Keith. You know, that car is out of this hole at this point, but now that it's gone, we can kind of see what was going on underneath. Take a look down here. Now, the water has actually slowed down a bit, but every time a car drives by, it picks up again. And imagine how much water and pressure you had to have for part of this parking lot to just collapse. It all happened just steps from people's homes and way too close to a car.
When I come out, and this is where it was.
Maybelle Bayham's Toyota Corolla was in its regular parking space, but part of that parking space was gone. She needs that car to get back and forth to her job.
Never seen anything happen like this. You know, never. I don't know what to do. And I don't know what he's going to tell me. So I don't know. I'll be on foot.
It was a stressful day as she waited to get that car out of the hole that wasn't here before. Between water pooling in the parking lot all day and pouring into the neighborhood next door, something got to the breaking point. What do you think actually happened here?
I don't know. It gave away. It just gave away. The water got so much up here, and then it just, you know.
And her little white car was in the wrong place at the wrong time. What did you think when you came out here and you saw this?
Dollar bills that I don't have.
Yeah, Maybelle was really worried about how expensive this could be. Hopefully that car is going to be okay and she'll be able to drive it. But, you know, things are not over here. I want to show you what some of her neighbors have been dealing with, because the water that was coming through here has been rushing over to the neighborhood next door. And as you can see, it is just sitting in the backyards here, possibly creeping into these homes over here. So still a lot of stuff to deal with out here in Temple Terrace. Guys, back to you.
All right, Lauren Make showing us some of the worst of it there. Car insurance agents are going to be busy, no doubt about it. Drivers were stalling out as they tried to pass through flooded streets throughout the Tampa Bay area today. This woman's car got stuck on North 30th Street. Strangers had to help Tarsha Moore and her Kia to safety. But it wouldn't start. This should be a reminder to all of us, though. If you don't know how deep the water is, don't drive through it.
The heavy rain flooded a number of intersections in the University community area. That led to flooded cars and stranded motorists. A number of homes in the area flooded as that rain came down heavy and quickly. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joins us now live from 22nd Street, where he's standing on one of those flooded intersections. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, the pictures really tell the story in all of this.
Yeah, a lot of people had a lot of problems today, Gail. I've got on my rain pants and my rain boots, and I'm having a wonderful day out here. I'm looking at my high water mark on a tree over here. Water's actually gone down by about 3 or 4 inches. Clearly, though, this street is still flooded. We're here in front of Bellwether Elementary School, and a number of cars tried to get through this street today and quickly ran into trouble.
I didn't even see nothing coming. I didn't know it was that deep. I just thought it was just a little puddle.
That story was repeated to us over and over today as drivers thought they could get through flooded streets only to fail.
They just keep coming and coming and coming. We keep pushing them out.
On 29th Street at Navajo Avenue, we found several homes flooded across from a retention pond. The pond is choked with weeds and silt. Johnny Compton's daughter called him with an urgent plea for help.
And that's my daughter's house right there.
Inside, Ashley Compton put her 3 children onto tables to keep them above the water.
If you look through the whole house, the water was going through the walls and filling up fast.
So fast she could do nothing to keep it out. And now she faces a major cleanup. On 99th Avenue, a similar situation. Another retention pond is filled with debris and weeds. The water flooded the home of David Diaz, who says the city isn't maintaining this retention pond.
It always keeps on coming up every time it rains, same thing happens, and they never do anything.
Yeah, there's going to be other problems as we move forward. This street obviously still flooded, but we were over there on 99th Avenue today, and we saw the waters going down. Well, as the water was receding generally from the area, we could see it literally bubbling up through the asphalt. Cracks were forming, so obviously this is going to be a maintenance issue for the street department for some time to come, and clearly this intersection won't be drivable, at least for the next few hours. Gail?
Wow, what a mess, Jeff. Thank you. All of that water caused an entire wing of a high school to close. Middleton High students helped teachers carry desks out of the building. The problem? Rain on the roof. It started leaking through the ceilings and onto the floors in some of those classrooms. Bell peppers, cantaloupes, and produce everywhere.
Yeah, the floodwaters actually hit the Tampa Wholesale Farmers Market. It hit it hard, too. There's plenty of damage left behind. And from the air, you can really see how bad the flooding is in this area. Eagle A flew over the market near Hillsborough Avenue and 30th Street just a few hours ago. News Channel 8's Candace McCowan is joining us now live with a look at how things are looking right there on the ground. Still a mess, Candace?
Absolutely. There's a lot of debris left behind. Keith, Gale, most of those stands are outside, but if you take a look behind me, much of their produce is here in the driveway. You can still see plenty of fruits and veggies, but even some of the stands that are inside, they still have problems.
Very heavy rain.
With the rain outside, Kai Trong, who owns Dollar and Up at the farmer's market, didn't expect this. Water inside, about 3 inches, threatening his products.
And when the truck and the car come, you know, the wave like on the ocean, you know, go into my store.
He was one of many owners who took a hit at the Tampa Wholesale Farmers Market. Many produce stands saw their fruits and veggies washed away. Trong had some clothing items damaged. Mostly, he's battling water.
My broom, and take it out. So after that, I mop, so clean it up. Today myself, I try to do it.
Doing what he can, hoping it won't rain too hard on his business.
If you complain, nothing to help you. We try to do our best, to clean up and solve the problem. I calm down, no complain, and keep working.
No complaining for that business owner. Just to give you an idea of how high this water was, up to this leaf line here on this fence, even a nectarine like this one here stuck in this fence after the floodwaters came through here today, but obviously the situation is much improved. Live this evening, Candace McCowan, News Channel 8.
Some resilient folks there doing some great work. Thank you, Candace. We have a team of photographers chasing the floodwaters for you. You can jump on to WFLA.com to check out a slideshow of the best pictures from across the Bay Area.
And our Friday floods coverage continues in just a few minutes. Millions of dollars have been spent to help improve storm drainage. So why was there so much flooding in Tampa today? 8 on Your Side goes looking for answers. That's coming up at 6:15. But first, the situation, of course, much worse a little further north. Next, an update on the historic flooding that left the Panhandle underwater.
Now to breaking news. This coming from the Hillsborough County Courthouse at this hour. 12 jurors and 4 alternates have now been selected for the Julie Schenecker trial. As you know, Schenecker is charged with shooting and killing her 16-year-old daughter, Calix, and 13-year-old son, Bo. We expect opening statements next week.
FEMA is starting its assessment tonight of how much damage Florida's storms caused in the Panhandle. Historic rains left parts of the Panhandle underwater. News Channel 8's Josh Green is live in Pensacola in one of the hardest hit neighborhoods.
Well, Gail, I want to show you this photograph because it really gives you a perspective. This is what this house looked like before this storm. Now take a look at it today. This storm came through here. No one expected it. And you can see this water line on this homeowner's furniture.
Sorry.
Late this afternoon, Indra Parody got a hug from Pensacola's mayor.
This is really nice of you. This is overwhelming. Thank you for coming.
Support after unexpected floodwaters took so much.
I didn't have flood insurance. We didn't need it. Nobody on my street, just one person that I talked to had insurance, flood insurance. This is not a flooded area.
Next door at the Presbyterian Church, sailors helped clean up flooded floors after the water slowly creeped up, damaging walls, and so much more. Pensacola's mayor grew up in this neighborhood. He's shocked by how this storm left it.
Wind's different than water. Water will find a place to go, and the structures being taken out has just been devastating.
And now starts the secondary problems, if you could call them that. You can see where the water came up on Indra's car here. It won't start, but take a look at Piedmont Road where she lives, and you can tell this is a much bigger problem, and now the city is trying to figure out what it does with gas lines and things like that. We're live in Pensacola tonight. Josh Green, News Channel 8.
A lot of work still to go there, huh?
It's almost like a preview of what we're going to be dealing with tomorrow based upon what's happened in Pensacola and all the flooding we have here today. The cleanup, all that mud, yeah. Well, we saw a lot of street flooding around the Bay Area today, as you know.
The county has spent millions of dollars to help improve storm drainage. So why did so many neighborhoods still flood? 8 on Your Side gets some answers next.
Now, if it's true that we've spent millions to help control flooding issues in Hillsborough County, why was there so much flooding today? Did it really have anything to do with weeds in a retention pond near Navajo and 29th, clogging up the system? Did the city turn on stormwater pumps too late? Well, we sent the 8 on Your Side senior investigative reporter, Steve Andrews, to find out the answers to those questions, because a lot of people look and they go, what happened? How did it get this bad today?
Well, you know, the answer to those 2 questions, according to the city, are nope. The weeds had nothing to do with the flooding, and the stormwater pumps were not turned on too late. The city and county have in place a system of retention ponds, pipelines, pumping stations to push stormwater from one pond to another down the line and eventually into the river. Now, some of those pipelines are so large you can actually stand in them. But that just wasn't enough today. Why? The city claims what happened today was a freak event. There was just too much water. They say 6.5 inches in 2 hours and no place to put it. Yep. There was plenty of flooding, a lot of it in North Tampa, in City Councilwoman Lisa Monteleone's district, even in her house.
Although we have flooding here now, it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be years ago because we did all of those stormwater improvements.
The city and county spent millions upgrading and connecting their stormwater drainage systems. Pumps move the water from one retention pond to another and eventually into the river. Monteleone shared with us some photos she took of the flooding in North Tampa today and said There was no way to prepare for 6 inches of rain in 2 hours.
These huge storms bring on more rain than any engineering solution could probably ever offer.
The newest upgrade on 113th Avenue was overwhelmed with water, but Monteleone insists it did its job.
We're standing by Fowler Avenue right now, and 5 years ago, Fowler Avenue was underwater.
Now, according to Stormwater Management Director Irvin Lee, today was about trying to put 10 gallons of water in a 5-gallon container. During an event like this, the county and city must coordinate to make sure one pump station isn't pumping too much water down the line into another retention pond, because that could cause more flooding problems.
Well, did that happen today?
It might have. We're checking into it, and so is Lisa Monteleone.
Okay, well, at least we're holding them accountable. We want to know what happened. I'm glad you asked the question. All right.
Spent a lot of money.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, check this out. A tree fell on a Hillsborough County school bus. A branch there broke the windshield, but all the kids are okay. Talk about a scary moment for those kids, though. And we've seen the branches down, of course, waterlogged and very heavy, and the streets flooding. 6, 7 inches of rain in some of the heavier amounts, but 1, 2, 3 inches of rain fairly common. 73 degrees at the Lowe's Don Cesar right now. Quite a bit of overcast. The rain is all fallen at the moment, but still some light to moderate showers still occurring, so we could up that total a little bit. Of course, we got the event going on there. It looks like that tent weathered it okay. Temple Terrace getting 7.47 inches of rain. Just a little perspective to compare us to the Panhandle. You can see up in Orange Beach, Alabama at 23.7 inches of rain, but clearly they're both very, very high amounts. Needless to say, it's a 16-inch plus difference, so it gives you a rough idea what the folks are dealing with up in the northern part of the state. We have plenty to deal with here on our own. Showers continue, mostly light to moderate in northern counties, Citrus County, Hernando County. The yellow areas, the red areas, the areas of heavy rain, so things are definitely improving in Pinellas County. But down south, Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands County, these are all strong thunderstorms from Wauchula down to Arcadia and then all the way down into Charlotte County. And again, you can see as well, folks in Avon Park, Sebring, and Lake Placid, watch for these as they continue to push off to the east. Could be some strong wind gusts mixed in. We also have in Dundee some heavier rain showers, but the bulk of the heavier thunderstorms are down to the south. Some strong wind gusts primarily. We have had tornado warnings today as a result of the shear in the atmosphere. And again, no current warnings in place except for a flood watch for coastal areas primarily, but areas that have already flooded if you get additional rain, especially in those areas where you saw 6 to 7 inches. Little review as to where the rain fell and how much. Again, these are estimates from Doppler radar, not exact, but we're also seeing observations on the ground kind of say, yeah, that's pretty close to what we observed as well. Pinellas County, 2 inches of rain, fairly common, a little bit more than that up around north of Palm Harbor. But this area around Temple Terrace and also Carrollwood, maybe 6 to 7 inches of rain, over 7 actually observed there. Down into western Manatee, Bradenton, 2.9 inches of rain, getting a record 3.11 at the airport, Sarasota, Bradenton, and now all that continues to push inland. 69 degrees at 8 a.m. Still the possibility, because this front is stuck here, of showers and thunderstorms in the overnight. Probably not as much rain as we've already seen, but that chance is definitely there. Rain, cooled air at all of these locations, and clouds continue across the state. Of course, we have that front that's stuck here, area of low pressure traveling along the boundary. That helps to enhance the lift in the atmosphere. There's already a difference, cool air here, warm, humid air here, so that's what creates the showers and the pockets of heavy rain that could continue throughout the evening hours. We'll leave that in the forecast overnight, but you just saw the radar. We should get a little bit of a break here, it looks like, for most of the evening hours, but wake up, we'll leave that rain chance in our forecast for Saturday. Improving on Sunday, the sun returns, and temperatures will be a little bit more comfortable with the lower humidity. 77 degrees, that's our forecast high for Saturday. Lots of clouds around, probably well through the afternoon. Some improvement evening hours, it looks like. That's the way the timing looks like right now. By Sunday, we've taken rain out of the forecast, drying out. In fact, that might even mean slightly lower humidity. Next week looks great, guys. There you go, mid to upper 80s.
Dry it out a little bit.
Quickly things change.
They do.
Thanks, Steve.
Sports is coming your way next.
The Bucks have announced that this Tuesday they will reveal the newest member of the team's Ring of Honor. They won't say who it is yet, but all signs point to it being Derrick Brooks. It only makes sense. Brooks is going into the Hall of Fame this year, just like Warren Sapp was last year when he was added to the Bucks Ring of Honor. Like Sapp, I also expect them to retire Brooks's number 55. The ring enshrinement will come at halftime of a Bucks home game this season that's yet to be determined. Earlier today, before the Bucks made their Ring of Honor announcement, Brooks was in Tampa being recognized for his charity work. The Metropolitan Ministries honored Brooks with the 2014 Bridge Builder Award for his fundraising and donations over the years.
It says in the Bible, never get tired of doing good, for you never know where that seed's going to be sown or grown. And that's just my mentality. See an opportunity and thank God for the energy and the resources to do something about it.
Well, what a day the Rays had yesterday, sweeping both games of a doubleheader in Boston. Both wins by 1 run, and both times the Rays came from behind for the victory. That's the good news. The bad? The bullpen is gassed because neither of the Rays starters made it through the 5th inning. In fact, the Rays starting pitchers haven't made it through the 5th in 13 of the last 17 games. So they'll need David Price to pitch like an ace tonight and go deep into their game in New York as the Rays start a big 3-game series against the Yankees. Well, if you're looking for a horse to bet on for tomorrow's Kentucky Derby, California Chrome is the favorite at 5-2 odds, but notice that he's wearing a green temporary saddle cloth. That's because the first one he was given looked like this with the word California misspelled. California.
Is that an omen? I hope it's not an omen. I feel badly for that.
Favorites rarely win the Derby.
That's true. I haven't heard much about
here
the
tomorrow
field
on News Channel 8, too.
Good. We'll be watching.
Well, that's the news for now. We thank you for joining us, and Steve's going to keep on this storm for us, right?
Yep, we'll get some more rain here this evening, but not as heavy.
NBC Nightly News is next. We're back tonight at 11. Have a good Friday evening.
Good night.
And stay dry.